too on the volume, so if you need to, you won't be able to hear it yet because I don't have us on, okay? It just turned 6 o'clock. We're good. All right, here we go. We're going hot.
Those pants work?
All right, it's time for the JAG Connection live from Walk-Ons here Sunday night, opening week of the season. JAGs come off a Friday night victory, 17-13 over Sparkman Senators on the road for the second year in a row as they kick off play in still 6A, but still an elevation in the league play from 6A to 7A. 7A is now 6A, but hey, Coach, first off, I want to thank Walk-Ons for being a sponsor this year. We moved. I want to thank everybody. We've already packed out the room. We're going to have to probably get a bigger room next week. So for those of you still coming, come on. We'll find a place for you. I want to join you. I also want to thank Walk-Ons for Friday night, Coach. They simulcast the game here for you Friday night, and we got a picture of it here. So they had you on 3 screens up here, people watching. So while we want people to come out on Friday nights, talk a little bit about what that means to the program for people who may not be able to make it for the whole game, being able to watch it at a place like Walk-Ons on Friday night.
Well, it's pretty cool that the kids get to see it. You know, that they know they're on at Walk-Ons. You got families that have nothing to do with Spain Park. They get to watch our kids and our band and our the kids, the football players, the band, everybody. The picture of that you sent me of everybody watching it from behind, that was really, really cool. But I don't know, hopefully this thing keeps growing and more people can watch.
So, Coach, dangerous victory on Friday night. When I say dangerous, that was a dangerous quarterback you faced, and they were 1 play, 2 plays away from you guys walking out of there with a loss. Talk a little bit what you learned about your team Friday night.
Well, we learned that our kids aren't, they're not afraid of adversity. It wasn't going good, and we couldn't really get in a rhythm on offense sometimes, but, we had to, our plan was to run the ball and play action, but, we had to start throwing it around. And if you would have told me Nash would have thrown it 33 times, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But, it's just an egg.
Sorry, we're still messing with audio a little bit. There you go. That's better.
Well, it just goes to show that, we can win a couple different ways. It's not always going to go as planned, and sometimes you got to change the script, midway through. So our kids are resilient. Our coaches didn't panic. None of the kids panicked, and, we made enough plays to get out of there.
One of the things we talked about in the pregame as we were leading in was 3 returning starters on defense. But when you go to the 2 deep last year, it's 7. And you guys, that's one thing Coach Bush has done a very nice job of the last couple of years, and you guys offensively, is getting guys meaningful reps even though they're not starters. How big did that play into Friday night, having guys with experience that maybe didn't have starting experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Our coaches do such a good job of getting our kids prepared, every position where, they might not have had a lot of varsity reps, but they're getting a lot of reps of what we're asking them to do. And I think that's important. But, again, nobody panicked. You might have had somebody with not a lot of reps next to somebody with a whole lot of reps. So it balances itself out. But, I think our kids are very prepared and exactly what we're asking them to do.
So what were some of the messages this weekend that you took away from the game that you told the team, some of the positives that they build on this week?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, enjoy it. I mean, it's, I've been a part of 14 losses before. I've been a part of 11 straight losses before. Like, I've been on that side, and some of those losses were really close losses. So, I mean, like, enjoy it. I told the kids today, like, when good things happen in life, you buy a car, you get married, like, enjoy good things. When you make good plays, enjoy. When bad things happen, you handle, and you move on. And, I told our kids, like, today, like, it just felt like we were just watching the game sometimes. We weren't enjoying it, and, enjoy every win. And I know it wasn't to our standard of what we thought it was going to be. But, wins are hard to come by. And anytime you get a win, enjoy it. And so that was our message today, just get our kids to, go have more fun Friday night.
I didn't think there was any complacency from a player standpoint, but from a fan standpoint, you go up there last year, 48-21 victory. That wasn't the same Sparkman team you faced a year ago. They had a lot more talent, a lot more experience. They're gonna be scrappy, and they're gonna be somebody to contend with throughout the season.
Yeah, Coach Watson's a good friend of mine. I really like him, and they were well coached. And that quarterback, he's electric. And it's hard to gather him. It's hard to put a net around him. I mean, he's very, very, very good. And the fact, if you hold somebody to 13 points, you should win every game you play. So I mean, first half was kind of, they had long drives and they kind of started the game off, kind of muddied it up a little bit, and they kind of set the pace instead of us setting the pace, and it kind of lulled us to sleep a little bit. But again, I mean, our kids answered every time they did something. Our kids had an answer for it. So, but I do think Sparkman is a whole lot better than they were last year.
One thing I was impressed with, appreciate the sideline pass this year because it helps us prepare for the show and some of what we can hear what you guys are saying, and we obviously don't share anything that we shouldn't. But one of the things that really impressed me was the coaches were still, even though it wasn't going your way in the first half, you guys were very positive. I think you guys kind of expected, you didn't know what to expect that game, and you were going to have to make some adjustments. So was that kind of how it felt?
Sure it did. I mean, I told the kids all week, and we've been telling them for a while now, like, Hudson Reed isn't here, E.J. Curley, Brock Bradley, those guys aren't here. So when it does hit the fan and when things aren't going well, we got to see how this team responds. And I think one thing that was kind of a constant across the kids and the staff is nobody panicked. Nobody panicked. Even when it didn't look good and we were making a lot of mistakes and a couple of bad calls. I had a couple of bad calls myself. Nobody panicked. And I think that's just a credit to where our program is, led by our staff. And there's a lot of trust on that staff that we're going to get it fixed. If something needs to be fixed, we'll get it fixed.
Special teams, we've talked years past, sometimes that's probably why you don't have any hair left. This year, though, that was probably one of the positives going into the season. That was probably the one unit that you returned to completely intact with special teams. And they made a big field goal in the second half to kind of give you a little bit of breathing room.
Well, I mean, I told the kids today, like the 5 points we got off of special teams was the difference. The 2 extra points and the field goal. We don't have those 5 points, we don't win. So, I mean, it's very, very important. Zach Van Pelt had a 59-yard punt that flipped the field early in the game. Those things are huge. Brooks Brand caused a fumble on one of the kickoffs. We didn't recover, but he caused a fumble. There was another fumble on punt because Zach kicks it so daggum high, and a lot of times when a ball goes up on punt really high, the returner has a tendency to kind of get lost and fumble, and he did. So there was a lot of good things on kickoff, on punt, and extra point field goal that we can build off of. But Coach Thompson does a great job as coordinating the special teams, and I thought it was really clean by them.
Before we get into the chalk talk and go through some plays, we talked in the pregame show, 3 things that you said that they had to do is you wanted to see them come out swinging. I felt like both teams kind of came out swinging. Nobody really had the advantage there. Protect the ball. You both had 1 turnover, so you're even there. And then it was minimize mistakes, and it really felt like that was probably the difference in the game. You guys probably made a few less mistakes Friday night than they did.
We did, but we had a chance for 3 interceptions, and we don't take advantage of it. We had 10 offensive penalties, so I mean, there's plenty of things we've got to clean up that don't really have anything to do with an opponent. It's us, and I got to do a better job of making sure we're more disciplined, where we don't jump off sides and we don't, we don't not snap it when we're supposed to, and a lot of little things that I've got to do a better job of cleaning up, but. We just got to clean that up. I mean, you're right. Sparkman came out swinging on us, and we swung back, but it was just they lulled us to sleep. They converted a couple of third downs early. They had a 9-play and 2 10-play drives the first half. So they just kind of lulled us to sleep. But it wasn't a lack of effort. It was just they schemed it up pretty good. But Coach Bush and defense, they did a really good job of making adjustments.
Key play of the game was, in my opinion, when they stopped you on 4th down there, because I heard Coach Bush, he said, man up, we got to get the ball back, we got to get the ball back. And they very easily could have taken the air out of the game there, or the half actually, not the game. But then you get the ball back with about 1:30 left, and you took the handcuffs off Nash, and you guys decided to go. What led to that confidence to go ahead and have that kind of drive with 1:30? Because a lot of coaches might have just been content going in down a couple of points and regrouping at halftime.
Yeah, no, I mean, we had 2 timeouts. We got a minute and a half. We're going to put our foot on the gas and go score. Because I tell the kids the last 5 minutes of the first half and the first 5 minutes of the second half in close games are very big transition moments. And the last few minutes of the first half, we're driving all the way down the field. We stall out on 4th down, but then our defense gets the ball right back, and we go down the field and score. So the last 5 minutes of the first half kind of gave us momentum back going into halftime. But we told Nash, we told the receivers, let's go, 2-minute drill. We work on it all the time, and they're very confident in what they're doing, and they did a really good job.
So it's time for the One Life Fitness Tale of the Tape. The stats from the first game. Nash Davis, nice day, 254 yards passing. That is another Davis, not Nash Davis running for 53 yards on the ground, but you got Davis and Davis in the backfield. And, of course, Barrett Price, nice day, 134 yards reception. If you look at it, this was the tale of two teams, though. You guys did it through the air. Sparkman did it on the ground. But you guys ended up, surprisingly, with as much as you passed, you ended up with 12 more plays in the game than they did.
We did, and like Nash knows, we left a few plays on the field that he could have very well been 4 touchdowns, over 300-yard night. Just a couple of things here and there. But I thought Barrett made some really big plays and some third down moments. And Benton Tate came in when they made Nash come off the field because he didn't have a mouthpiece in. Benton Tate comes in on the 3rd and long and completes a pass, moves the chain. So there's a lot of really good things. I think the biggest thing is 7 different guys caught a pass. It wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. 7 guys caught it out of the backfield, down the field, out in the flats, different guys, and that's going to really help us develop as the season goes on.
Yeah, you kind of stole a little bit of thunder there from me. I was going to talk about, it started off a little slow. Barrett Price then had a couple of catches across the middle, and then it just seemed like he had every option available to him. We're actually going to see it. There's a couple of places. You had 5 guys wide open downfield, and Nash had all sorts of choices to go to. How did that – was it kind of like Novocaine just took a little time to develop?
Well, I don't know about that. I just – I feel – I'm confident in what we do. But it all has to be set up by the run game, and the run game wasn't really working early on, so we said, well, let's throw it on first down more, So we got all the confidence in the world in Nash and receivers, and we started throwing the ball around, And I think good teams figure out ways to win when plan A might not work, and that was a good thing to see.
When you do struggle running the ball a little bit, the holes weren't opening, but you didn't have problems pass blocking. Nash had a lot of time. I think he only got sacked 1 time. How does that happen? Because were they just a little tougher to move, or were you just a little bit better at pass blocking Friday night?
I don't know. I think when you run the ball, when you try to run the ball, the D-line's trying to defend the run. And, a lot of times it has to convert to pass rush. So you don't, it's not 3rd long where they know it's a pass. When you're doing it on 1st and 2nd down, when it could be one or the other, you got D-line trying to play the run and then convert it to a pass rush. So I think that helped Nash a lot. But, Coach Moe and Coach Clark did a really good job with our O-line, and they really kept a lot of defenders off of Nash.
So it's time for Chalk Talk. We're going to go through a few plays. Chalk Talk brought to you by Walk-Ons and Pop Vakakes. I had his name on here, but I wasn't sure if he was coming tonight. But
he's here.
I know he's here, but I did. I tell you what, I enjoyed talking to your brother Friday night on the sidelines.
I'm
and
sorry.
He said, you know what? I actually asked him if he was the funny part was I asked him if Pop was texting in some, you should have run this play, you should have run that play. He said, no, he can't get the TV to work. So he was actually texting in for remote control help. So
that don't surprise me.
So, anyways, we're glad to have Pop back out as usual. But let's get into some highlights here, Coach. First play here, one of the first pass plays. But again, it shows some confidence that you had in Nash to be able to get him to go ahead and throw it in from minus side of the field for you, really inside the 10-yard line. So talk a little bit about the confidence that you guys had him right out of the gate.
Well, there's a lot of confidence in Nash, and what we do in our receivers. There's a lot of confidence. One thing we got to work on a better job of is getting yards after the catch. We've got to do a better job of throwing the ball to where our guys can catch it and still run. But that was a big play, and he threw it to where only we could catch it. And a pretty good catch. I think that's Landrick making that first catch.
Yeah, and I thought one of the things I wanted to highlight here is I thought this was nice. They kind of knew where the play was going. I thought your offensive line did a real nice job of opening up the passing lane for Nash there. And if you see, he's got a wide open passing lane. Landrick does a nice job. Ball just, again, as Nash was getting his rhythm, you see him start hitting that in stride a little bit later in the game. But nice passing lane there. Talk a little bit about how your offensive line opened that up.
O-line did a real good job. A lot of the run game deficiencies it wasn't on the line. It was a lot of our running backs, the angles, a lot of the meshes, a lot of stuff like that we got to fix. But the O-line had a really, really, really good night.
Another pass here again. And I thought this was key early in the game, and you always hear, but Barrett, I think Barrett almost prefers going over the middle and taking that and making that guy miss. It's like almost a challenge for him, but he does a nice job really running this route and getting open up underneath, and he's got wide open. Now, if this passes on time, he probably does get some yards after the catch.
If you see, the ball's already on the way, so that was really good anticipation by Nash of knowing the concept of the play when the ball is supposed to be caught.
Another one here again. I'm not sure. I can't remember who this one is. I think you got Barrett Price again going across. He's going across right across the middle. And again, I really felt like that opened up some stuff for you when you guys were having some difficulty getting some yards, those over the middle routes.
Well, we were having difficulty getting the running yards because they had a lot of guys in the box. You know, that played a part into it too. So when people load the box, you got to be able to throw it. You know, and our guys did.
Does a nice job going up for it right there inside. Gets it into about the 6-7 yard line, and that's going to set up a touchdown here. Again, a couple of guys going across the middle, and again here we'll see here once we get the. And I think that was that was a new player for you.
Sawyer Scott.
Man, I'll tell you what. I think Sawyer Scott. I watched him pitch this year. I think he's grown 2 feet since spring.
He's gonna be a big kid, big old junior.
But if you look here too, man, one of the nice things. Look at that. You got 2 guys wide open. He's got his. I mean, Nash has got his pick of who he wants to throw it to there. So.
Well, that again, you know, when they're committing so much to stopping the run game, I mean, you can't stop both. I mean, you've got to be able to sell out, and our guys did some really good stuff behind them.
It's always nice when a quarterback has options like that and time to pick one of his options.
Yeah, I'm just glad he threw it and didn't try to run it in. I would have killed him.
So, again, this is what I put one of their plays in there. This is really what threw you fits pretty much the whole first half. I mean, that guy, he's back there. He drops back to pass. And again, I mean, he turns something into nothing, and nothing into something.
He's a very fast kid. I mean, he's a track star, and he's a senior. Thank God we don't have to see him again next year. But he's very, very, very fast.
So this again, normally you don't show a highlight from another team as your turning point of the game, but I really did think this was a turning point in the game. You go for it on 4th down here. They get the stop, okay, and I really felt like that's where the game turned in your favor. The defense kind of bucked up a little bit. You made some adjustments. You got the stop. And you go back and you score, but you don't. It felt like that play. And as a coach, are you sitting there thinking, if we don't get it, I'm challenging my defense to get the stop?
No, it was go get the first down. I mean, we're trying to score right before half. There was a couple minutes left. Like we're trying to score, and it was 4th and about almost 2 yards, and we thought about sneaking, but it was a little bit too far for a sneak, and we didn't come off the ball. That was another communication deal where we didn't come off the ball together, and there was a gap. These guys might have come off at the same time. Somebody didn't. Somebody got through. So things like that we got to clean up if we're going to go for it again on 4th down, in another game coming up. So, but no, the mindset was go score.
I get that, but I also felt like, though, your defense, that built some confidence in your defense, that you guys had the confidence if you didn't get it, that you guys relied on your defense, that you knew that they could get the stop.
Sure. I mean, you're in a spot on the field where you can't really kick a field goal. You're not going to punt. So we just said, let's go. So it was a no-brainer. We went for it, didn't get it, but our kids responded.
So we got Nash Davis back here again. He get the ball back after the stop, and he goes deep for Barrett Price. A couple near misses early, but then you connect on this one.
Yeah, they missed each other early on, but really good concentration catch by Barrett. That's not an easy catch. And he got face mask. They didn't call it. But,
no, they didn't. You're right.
That was a really, really, really tough catch that he made look easy.
Well, I mean, I probably shouldn't say this on air, but I didn't think Sparkman qualified for any penalties in that game.
Yeah, it seemed like they didn't, but no, a lot of ours are well-deserved. I can't get mad at them, but really good route, really good throw, and really good catch.
Again, you do a nice job here. Can you draw up a pocket on paper any better than this?
The O-line, they've gotten much better.
And then again, you look here too. I think Barrett and the whole team. They did look. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is the guy. That ends up getting it. Does a nice job. So again, Nash had tons of options with time, and again, he gets the right read here, which I thought again really opened it up for the opportunity to score there right before the half.
Yeah, anytime you get a 2-minute drill, you want to complete. You want to get going. On the first down we completed. But you're going to have a big play somewhere, and that was it. And that was a really good catch.
Nice job here again. Gets it into the flat, and you let C.J. Davis just put his head down and go for it.
That was a big moment. I mean, I think there was like 20-something seconds left after we scored. But, again, it was the last drive of the half, and that's what we had to get done.
Again, nice job here by both the receivers. You got an opportunity for an offensive pass interference here. If you make contact, they ran the routes very clean, very nicely. Gets the separation he needs to get open in the space. But again, that's a dangerous play right there because a lot of times you do see an offensive pass interference if they get too close.
Yeah, I mean they did a really good job, and CJ knows what to do when he gets it.
You're going to have to tell me what happened here. I guess on Huddle they had it as did we get the fumble here?
No, it was 4th down.
Right.
And Huddle had a 2nd down, but we fixed it. But it was 4th down. J-Mo comes up, makes the stop. He fumbled it, but I think they recovered it.
I did too, but it went down on the stat play. But again, nice job here. He tries to bounce it outside. Guys staying at home and cutting them off. And again, you're not going to tackle him with one guy. He had 3 guys in on that tackle, so nice job.
Yep, Garrett Hoffman, only points in the second half was the 3 points that made them have to score a touchdown to beat us late, which was big.
Well, and again, too, I think some momentum for you, too. Gives you a little confidence. You had a nice sustained drive there. You don't want to walk away with no points. So you bring on your field goal guy to walk away at least feeling good about the drive.
No doubt. I mean, it's not an easy kick to make from the left hash or right footed kicker, but he did a really good job.
Nash, nice job again going across the middle here. I think that's Barrett, the full price. He's worth the full price of admission.
Yeah, good throw and catch. Again, if you commit that many guys in the run, you got to be able to throw it. And you got to have the confidence to do it, and they do.
Wide open spaces there in the middle. And again, and you said you wanted some yards after the catch. That's one thing I noticed, and I don't know if there was a challenge to your wide receivers in the second half. They didn't go down quite as easy as they did in the first half.
Well, the balls, the passes that allow them to run like this, really good. That's a really good pass. That's not an easy throw to make, but it allows Sawyer Scott to be big and strong and run.
He does a nice job here. You can see Sawyer Scott. Again, the motion, you used a lot of motion in your offensive sets there. And, again, you look here. If you get him, that's wide open. There's nobody over there. So if he runs a good route and he can get the inside leverage, which is what he wanted there, it's going to turn into a play like it did.
Well, last year against them, we ran out of that same formation, like a sweep, a bunch. So we knew they'd stop that play. If they didn't do anything else, they were going to stop that. And they did, which allowed us to go the other way this year, more than we did last year.
Get another nice play here on first down. Get back there. He tries it. Again, this is one of those plays. He doesn't make that tackle. It's wide open on the other side. That's the game-changing play right there because that's when he can break for a touchdown, and then they get that touchdown they need.
Well, James Jones did a good job on the backside, and, you might be fast, but James Jones can roll too. So that was a big, big, big momentum play. But it started by Aiden Henderson setting the edge as the 10th grade end, setting the edge to make him go back.
Well, the thing that impressed me here, too, is you've got all your guys here. Nobody's getting in too deep. They're not bunching up. Everybody's keeping their line. So in case he does cut back, you had him at multiple levels there.
They did. They did a really good job pursuit. I know they do a pursuit drill every day.
But if he gets away from there, it's pay dirt.
It's a big play.
It's a big play. So, that was a huge tackle, and one it probably doesn't look as big on the stat sheet as it was. And then, of course, here you got victory formation, which is every coach's favorite play at the end of the game there. And the Jags walk away with a 17-13 victory at Sparkman for the second year in a row. And, a good way to start the season. But you learned a lot from your team, but I also think you learned that you got a lot to work on.
You can't commit 10 penalties on offense and expect to have a good day on offense. You can't do that. And so I've got to do a better job of getting them ready, and we got to clean up. But, I told the kids we wanted to see what this group's going to do with adversity. We knew what Jackson Bell was going to do 2 years ago. We knew how Brock would handle it. How is this new group of guys, how are they going to handle it? And they passed. Nobody panicked. So that was really good to see these guys go on the road to a much improved Sparkman team and figure out a way to win when you don't play great. So really proud of the effort.
All right, Coach, we're going to bring up a couple players right now. We got a word from one of our sponsors while we make the transition. So, Coach, we'll bring you back up in about 20 minutes, and let's get some players up.
Here at One Life Fitness, whether you have pain and disability or whether you're training for high performance, we train athletes from 9 years old all the way up to 90. The other main part of our job is to get out in our communities and support local sports teams, athletes, high schools. So come on out and try explosive performance today.
And you can relax in our recovery studio with hydro massage, red light therapy, stretching, hypervolt percussion, and Normatec compression therapy.
All right, we're back with players Nash Davis and Barrett, the full price. But the full price because he's worth the full price of admission. There you guys go. So your brother ended up qualifying for the price right. First off, I'm a little disappointed, man, because I had a whole bit. Well, first off, so you had the baseball hair still going Friday night, and then you went and got the dye job. Nash, you still look like you got a little baseball hair left, huh?
Yeah, mine didn't end up as good as others, so had to get it back.
I was trying to fit in with you guys, so I brought my baseball hair. I brought my baseball hair tonight, but Barrett, you kind of ruined it for me. But the other thing I got for you, Barrett, before we get started is, one of the things in baseball that we complimented you on week in and week out was your style. I mean, you went out there, you were dressed, you were pressed. You had those super Columbia blue cleats. And then I'm on the bus Friday night and we're leaving Cracker Barrel, and the rumor is you forgot your shoes.
Yeah, unfortunately, that happens.
So you forgot your shoes. So how did you end up playing with no shoes?
Nah, I got them. Shout out Sawyer Scott's dad, Mr. Keith. He brought them.
He brought up your shoes for you. So, so now the big question for Coach V is, since you had such a good game, do you be superstitious and do you forget your shoes every week now?
No. Causes too much stress before the game.
Causes too much stress before the game. Well, I think the prices need to get like little chains to carry things. And not only do you forget your shoes, your brother then is scrambling around looking for his cell phone before the game because he left it at Cracker Barrel. So anyways, hey Nash, talk a little bit about your story, and I'm sure a lot of people have heard. Obviously I've been around you for a long time. I'm covering you back March 10th, probably a day you want to forget. You're pitching great, and then you got to come off the mound with a little elbow pain. Turns out you have to have procedure done, which Dr. Garrett did a phenomenal job. He did my elbow, so not quite to the extent of yours. But talk about your progress, because, first off, I don't think people notice, and I'm going to tell them, you had the surgery over spring break, and then you left the surgery center and came straight out to the baseball game to watch it. You didn't even go home to recover. You came out to watch your team play baseball. So, to me, that's a consummate team player. But it looked like you were determined from that moment that you were going to be back from game one. So talk about your progress throughout the offseason.
Yeah, obviously it was a devastating injury, not being able to play the rest of the baseball season. But being able to be with them and having the run that we had was a fun time. So, but Dr. Garrett did a great job, and being with Sarah and Nate and Tabitha and all our trainers that we have, they've done a great job and got me back even before the expected date. So earlier we were thinking about limited reps game one, maybe not even playing. So being able to be out there the whole game and just be able to throw it with full confidence was amazing.
So, one of the things I don't think people know about you, and I didn't even really realize it until this year, you've got such a low-key personality. You don't show a lot of emotion, but you're a little bit like my daughter, George. She's the same way, but you've got a competitive streak that's probably second to none that most people don't see. So talk a little bit about, because you were so competitive deep down inside.
Yeah, well, if you ask my dad when I was younger, the emotions, when they showed, they weren't really good. So I kind of had to find a way to channel that, and now I just kind of keep to myself, like low-key, but, mentally I'm always competitive and wanting to win no matter what I do.
So Barrett, I was talking about you earlier, but you seem, well, first off, you probably haven't watched the pregame, because my question about you was, obviously you were a very good possession receiver last year. You're obviously being called on to be like a 1 or 2 guy this year, and I said, that was one of the questions that we had to answer, and by halftime I thought it was asked and answered. You definitely have shown you can be that number 1 guy, but a lot of those number 1 guys, they like to run the sideline. You like going across the middle, it seems like, a lot more. You like that challenge of trying to make those guys miss?
Yes, sir. Obviously it's a tough task, but I like being able to go over the middle, catch the ball, and I'll do whatever Coach V asks me to do. So catch the ball, run across the middle, score. We'll try to find that next week, though. Connection me and Nash, we'll probably hit that.
So you guys look like you guys have a pretty good rhythm on the field. Are you guys good friends off the field?
Best friends.
All right. I kind of had a feeling. So, and then, and so were you there working with him in the off season as he was trying to work his way back? Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. Every day after summer practice, we would spot up catch, and we would run routes after each day and growing that connection. So it's been awesome to see his development and getting back. So it's been pretty awesome to have him back early.
What was your takeaway from Friday night? What do you think you guys did well? What do you guys think the Jags need to work on?
I thought we did great. We didn't panic. That was a really good job we did. But also we need to be better running the ball and probably put more points up.
Nash, Were there some nerves getting in there? First time as a start? You know, I know you've had a lot of reps. You played a lot of JV. You actually played some varsity reps. But just coming back, not quite knowing what to expect from, you know, that's the first time you've probably really been hit. Were there some nerves going into that game?
Probably a little butterflies before, but once that first snap happened, I mean, they were all out the window. So.
I tell you, I know Dr. Garrett was there. You mentioned him earlier because he's a team doctor and does a phenomenal job with Spain Park. And I was kind of watching him, talking to him. You guys never talked during the game, so I guess you're 100% clear. There was no pain, no nothing.
Yep, he was over there. Him and Sarah were counting how many throws I had, and then I think once we got to halftime, I think Sarah came up to me and was like, "Yeah, there's no limit this game. You're finishing this game." So I got to talk to him before the game and just told him I felt good, and you know he was out there supporting me, so it was good to have him there.
I asked you on Friday night, I butchered a little bit, but I asked you Friday night, you know, you get Sammy Camargo. Did I say his last name right? Camargo?
Yes, sir, Camargo.
Yeah, Sammy Camargo. He moves over from guard to center, but you got a veteran guy there kind of helping you through it. How much did that give you? I mean, how did that help you through Friday night's game?
I think it helped a lot. I mean, when everything was ugly, like we weren't communicating and everything like that, I think all the O-line and whole offense was looking at him. And as the senior and the leader of our team, I think he kept his demeanor, and it kind of helped steady out the whole offense, and we knew that if Sammy was calm, that we could all be calm and no one panicked.
So walk me through. You go for it on 4th and 1 there. You get stopped, okay? And I know you guys are over there watching the video. They pretty much go 3 and out, so you guys are back on the field pretty quick. What was the message from the coaches to you guys before you went out there for that 2-minute drill?
We knew we were getting the ball back, and I think we all knew we had to go score. And I think once we got the ball, we still had full confidence in ourselves. No matter how the drive before ended, we kind of just washed it away, go back out there and trust in everything that we do and all the work that we put in.
So Barrett, we saw the play. There was 5 guys open on that, but did you know it was coming to you? Were you the first option on that play?
Yes, sir. Usually that big post, if that safety rolls over with the B-line, the big post is going to get the ball, and the other safety rolled over to the B-line. And I think we all knew Nash was going to try and throw that again. So it was a great throw by him, and it was a great job of me catching it. So.
Yeah. Did you realize you got face masked, or did you not know it until after the game? Because I mean, I didn't even see it until Coach V brought it up.
No, sir. I just caught the ball and had a little celebration, and then handed it back to the ref because we had to go because it's 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. Tell me, you guys seem very. It seems like this year, not that it hasn't been that way years past, but this is a very tight knit group. And you guys seem like you're out there. It's business as usual. Even though there's a lot of new guys out there, you guys almost feel like it's a veteran squad out there. Do you guys feel the same way?
Yes, sir. I mean, I think everyone's locked in when we're out there. We all have one goal, playing together and playing to the best of our abilities. So I think when everybody's locked in and we're at our best, we think no one can stop us. So.
Barrett, so what do the Jags need to do this week? What's some focuses the wide receivers need to do to get better this week?
Receivers, catch the ball. We need a lot more yak this week because those guys over at Bessemer City, they're really fast and they're really athletic. So we need to catch the ball and just get vertical and make some guys miss and score the ball. And obviously as a team, we need to come out, have a great practice week, and we just need to come out and execute. And if we play to our game, we can probably pull out that win.
Nash, what are you looking for? I mean, obviously, what does the Jags have to do to run the ball a little bit better this week?
I think we just got to keep doing what we're doing, pay more attention in practice, be more detailed the whole week. And then I think we just got to trust everything that we do once we go out there on Friday night.
One of the things we mentioned about your offensive line, they gave you some really nice passing lanes. Did you realize that as the game was developing, and how much time you actually had to pass the ball? Did it feel like you had a month back there?
Yeah, I definitely felt like there wasn't really any pressure the whole game. I mean, they did a great job allowing me to give me time to throw the ball, and all of our receivers got to their spots, which opened up different throwing lanes and passes and stuff like that. So just overall great job by them and our whole offense.
So, Ed, one of the questions that everybody wants to know at home is who's faster, Barrett or Ty?
We all know the question. We all know the answer.
I think both of them will answer differently, but
you know the answer. You can make Ty mad. He's not here.
Barrett's got him for now. Now.
Barrett's got him for now. Talk a little bit about that, though. You're a good kid. You came up. You've had success early. Your brother's coming up having success. Do you enjoy playing with your brother, or do you rib him pretty good?
I love playing with my brother.
Do you?
It's awesome having him out there. Kind of reminds me of a younger me. Works hard, does his job, and in practice he's done a great job. And seeing and playing with him out there on that Friday, it was pretty fun, and it was a nice moment to enjoy.
Now your dad's got a little bit of quarterback in him. So does he work you guys after practice in the backyard? You guys run some routes for him?
Yeah. Back in the day.
Back in the day, but
tried to put in a Z pass, and you scratched it out on Wednesday. I can throw it. My hands were just sweaty.
So Nash, what's one of your favorite moments so far playing? I mean, I know you haven't had a lot of time, but I know you spent a lot of time with Brock Bradley. You came up. So what's a memorable football moment for you that you've had so far?
I mean, obviously learning from Brock and being with him for the past 3 years or however long it was great, and kind of picking up everything that he did and learning how to, lead the team, because I feel like he was really good at that and everyone looked at him. But favorite moment, I mean, it's hard to pick one, but last night was hard to beat, finally, or Friday night, being able to get out there and have that first start. But
that's good. That's the right answer.
Yeah.
So that's the right answer. You both are starting to get some recognition for your success. Barrett, you've had some more just because you've been playing a bit longer on the field. I get a lot of offers. I don't want to get any specifics or anything like that. But is it getting overwhelming a little bit to get going through the recruiting process, or are you guys both enjoying it?
A little bit. I mean, I've really enjoyed it. It started the summer seeing all these colleges and building a connection with these coaches. It's been pretty awesome. But sometimes it does get a little overwhelming just thinking about all of it. But I've really enjoyed the experience so far.
And then Nash, I know you're getting it from two sides. You're getting some interest from both baseball and football. So how's recruiting eating up for you a little bit?
I mean, it's going now with baseball being able to pick up, but not being able to play baseball over the summer in the school ball, I know I still have to go out and prove myself whenever I do go out and play. So kind of try not to think about it too much and know that I still have to go out every Friday night and prove myself, and same thing in baseball season.
Talk a little bit, Coach V mentioned it, and it's rare, I think, when you have so many new players, especially in the receiving corps. Obviously, Barrett's probably the key one back, and some other guys who had received moved to different positions. But you had 7 different guys throughout the game. So was that kind of a function of the game plan, or is it just kind of you took what they gave you?
A little bit of both. I mean, I have faith in every receiver we put out there. So I trust the guys around me and know that they're going to do their job. And when they execute like they did on Friday, it makes it a lot easier for me. So I just trust my reads no matter who gets the ball, just trusting what we do and all the work we put in through practices.
Can you kind of see the defense soften a little bit, get a little bit more confused when you have that many opportunities and have that many options and you're able to distribute it to so many different places?
Yes, sir, for sure. I mean, once we got Barrett rolling on Friday, I think they kind of started to pick up on him, and obviously they didn't fully shut him down, but I think that opened up windows for everybody else.
Yeah, Barrett, you kind of mentioned that. That was going to be my next question. You kind of did step up and kind of got things going, got a rhythm going. But with some of those over-the-middle catches, is that something you kind of recognize, hey, we got to get something rolling here and you decided to kind of maybe take a little extra step, a little extra weight on your shoulders?
Yes, sir. We had to find that spark. We had to get something going. 7 points almost into the second quarter, that's not very good. So we just had to find a spark, and I told myself I have to do this, and I have to get us started and put some points on the board.
So, Nash, you don't want to bring up the one play, but you know what play I'm talking about. I know you wish you had it back. I wanted to tell you to stop throwing it because I saw you doing it, but what'd you learn from that play?
Not floated up to the defense. I mean, I think after that, I was trying to, just not think too much about it. I mean, I knew it was a terrible decision, and we go out for the next drive, and we're in the huddle, and I look over at Coach V, and he was just like, that was bad. I was like, yeah, it was. So, but, I mean, obviously, bad decision, they happened. So, just forget about it and move on to the next play.
Now, you get to do the same thing to Coach V if he makes a bad play call. When you come back and you go, that was bad, right?
Yeah, that might end up in a punishment for me, but.
So I always ask everybody this. I've asked Barrett, so I'm going to ask you, what is the one thing that drives Coach V the most nuts, practice field or and during the game?
I wouldn't put my palms up. That'll get him going.
To a man, that's what everybody says. So that usually tells me how connected you are with Coach V when everybody says palms up. So, all right, Barrett, you got anything you want to say to anybody else out there before we wrap it up?
Go Jags.
Go Jags. Nash, anything from you?
Go Jags.
And Nash, it's seriously on a personal note, it's great to see you back. And I mean, I know I saw the disappointment in your face when you came off the field, and I saw you after surgery, and I saw how hard you worked, and we're all very proud of you of what you did, not only for yourself, your family, but for this football team. So go Jags.
Go Jags.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Here at One Life Fitness, whether you have pain and disability or whether you're training for high performance, we train athletes from 9 years old all the way up to 90. The other main part of our job is to get out in our communities and support local sports teams, athletes, high schools. So come on out and try explosive performance today.
And you can relax in our recovery studio with hydro massage, red light therapy, stretching, hypervolt percussion, and Normatec compression therapy.
All right, we're back. I want to thank One Life Fitness for their sponsorship of the JAG Connection as well as walk-ons. So, Coach, I know we talked a lot about Nash, and it's a remarkable story, but what does it do for a team when they see a guy like that working that hard to get back? I mean, it almost makes you feel bad if you're another kid trying to take off when you see somebody working that hard to get back. Did his situation give the team a lift throughout the summer and the spring?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think everybody just hurt for him that he didn't get to play baseball, and they hurt for him that he didn't get to go through spring. And, think about these two guys we have tonight. Like, for example, Nash. He could have been a 3-year starter a lot of places, but he waited his turn. He waited on Brock. He could have been a 3-year starter a lot of spots doing a lot of stuff, So his offers and his blessings for the next level, they're going to come. And they're going to come. When they do, they're going to be a lot. And it might be football, baseball. He's going to have to make that decision for himself later on. But, he waited his turn. So Barrett, he's got all these offers. But what Barrett's done, he's gone and camped. He's not getting these offers off of anything else. Like, he goes to the camp. He went to Georgia. He earned it in front of Kirby Smart. He went to Florida and earned the offer in front of John Summerall. He's gone to Oregon. He's earned everywhere he goes, he's earned it, So, these two guys here, I mean, they're kind of, Barrett's kind of blown up the last 6-7 months, and Nash is going to blow up, but they're both team-first guys. And, when you see somebody like Nash have the injury, didn't get to play baseball, and knowing he's a really big-time baseball player too, it hurts for you, but no, everybody's pulling for him, and glad he's back for sure.
One of the things I didn't get a chance to get we didn't get the copy of the video, but I wanted you to talk about it, is a little thank you video or good luck video that you had done by all the kids playing college football right now. Talk about the success of that. I think, was it 19 kids out there? 19 kids playing some type of collegiate program, and it's really from your era, not from going back. I mean, I think the earliest kid I saw in there was 22.
Jack Kendrick, the very first year we Caldwell Bussey. We've got 19 kids playing college ball the last 4 years, and it's really cool. It's really fun, and I had them on a text thread. I said, all right, guys, I need a favor. I need y'all to send me, a little video, and they just started popping in, and I don't think people realize, but on the Jonathan Bibbs video, he has a Spain paw. He has an SP tattoo on his chest. Okay. So that's why he did his without a shirt and said, but you couldn't really see it. But, Jonathan Bibbs is playing big-time ball at Central Florida, and he's done really well, and he has a Spain Park tattoo. So, I don't know. We take a lot of pride in getting our kids anywhere from Central Florida to Clemson to Sanford to UAB, just all over the place. And, Rhodes, Jackson Bryant went to Rhodes this year. So we've got kids all over the place, and that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to make sure these kids have an opportunity to go off and play college ball if the good Lord allows it.
One of the things I want to talk about is not only did you see a lot of new faces on the field from a player perspective, but you got a few new coaches this year. So why don't you touch on a few of the new guys to the staff?
Well, the main new one we have is Adrian Abrams, D-line coach. Adrian Abrams was the head coach at Minor, and I've gotten to know him really well over the last 10, 15 years or so, and we're really good friends. And we played again. I coached against him when I was at JO, and he was at Minor. So I got in touch with him back in November of last year, October, and it just turned out that he was looking to make a change. And we kind of got together, and we made it happen. But after that, he probably got called by 5 or 6 schools that knew he was out there looking. It wasn't even a situation where I went to try to hire Adrian. I was checking on him. And as we had a conversation, we talked. I kind of realized he's ready for a change. So by the time everybody else heard he was trying to, he wanted to change, it was too late. He'd already committed to wanting to come with us. And Coach Abrams could have his own defensive line room in the SEC. He's that good, and we're blessed to have him. And him and Coach D-Rob give us really good defensive line coaches for our kids.
Got to tell you, that was one of the things I was actually impressed. I got an opportunity to watch him coach a little bit from the sideline on Friday, and he's not only is he enthusiastic, but he's also very constructive, and he was going over technique with a lot of guys and making some recommendations how they could get through. And I think, talk to us a little bit more before we go into preview the Bessemer City game, the adjustments that you guys made, because there were a lot of adjustments in that game. If you don't make the adjustments, you probably don't walk out of there with the win.
Yeah, at some point on the sidelines, I walked up to Barrett and Nash. I said, fellas, we're about to throw this thing around. And if you would have told me we threw the ball 33 times Friday night, I wouldn't have believed you. But we did. Obviously Nash is just not getting back, but he feels good. And I said, we're about to throw it around, and they really did a good job. Defensively, I know Coach Bush, that first half, he had to make a bunch of adjustments. That defensive staff between him, Coach Kimball, Coach Abrams, D-Rob, like all those guys over there, they do a really good job of adjusting. And Coach Bush had to make a bunch of adjustments the first half. Second half, the defense pitched a shutout. And so, when you got guys like that on staff and I just told the defensive coach at halftime, y'all don't panic. Y'all are fine. Make adjustments, and let's go. We're fine. So I've been saying it, I think we have the best staff in the state of Alabama. And I don't care what school, I don't care. I think what our coaches put in, what they get out, and the love they have for our kids and knowledge of the game, everything. They check every box. And I wouldn't trade those guys for the world.
Talk about your linebackers a little bit too. It's very, it's tough when you replace a player, but when you replace an entire unit like that, now there's a lot of talent in that unit that you replaced with Brennan Charles, Jonathan Roberto, and remind me who the other one was?
Israel Anders. He didn't play, but we got Brennan Charles, got Cam Lewis.
Yeah, but there's a trust factor in that position. You kind of play off a feel with each other. So did it take them a half to kind of get acclimated to each other in a game situation?
Yeah, I think there was a lot going on. I think that we weren't. I think Coach Bush he totally changed how they identified the offense, and I think once he made that change, made that distinction, that adjustment, I think it really helped our kids. So, look, those guys, those linebackers, they like to run and hit, but they got to be in the right spot and run the right way. And I think Coach Bush did a really good job of changing it and making tweaks along the way and put him in positions. And like I said, they shut them out the second half, and if we don't do that, we don't win.
First and most important thing, obviously, is coming out of Friday night with a win. Well, you did that. Second thing that's equally as important, probably 1A and 1B, is coming out healthy. Felt like you did that too. Any injuries of note that we need to be concerned about as we head into week 2?
No, and knock on wood, I think our kids did a really good job of not cramping. We take care of the kids. We make sure they get hydrated. We run a lot, but we focus on them. We force them to make sure they take care of their bodies, make sure they drink water, and our trainers do a really good job. So we didn't really have a lot of kids going down to cramps, which I can attest to our strength conditioning, the way our kids train, but the way they take care of their bodies individually too.
You must have been listening to our pregame or our pre-week meeting for the pregame show next week, because that's one of the topics that we're going to talk about. And I did mention it Friday night that being down on the field, the heat was going to be a factor in that game. And they did. They had guys right before the play falling down and getting timeout, and I didn't see one cramp. And again, I think that is, you mentioned, it's a testament to the strength and conditioning program. I think it's a testament to you. I don't think a lot of people know this. When I come up, we do the pregame show. We film the pregame show during the week. You're usually working out with the ninth graders. You're in that weight room with the ninth graders, the 10th graders. You're in that weight room with everybody, making sure they're conditioning properly.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll never get out of. If the kids are in there lifting, I'm going to be in there with them. I think that's where our program starts. I think that gives us an edge, and I want to have my hand in it. I think that's important for me to be in there. I'll never outsource that as long as I'm coaching.
So it's equally as important. What's equally as important is making sure you get Pop schooled on the remote control for Friday night so he can get the TV going.
Yeah, I don't know. I know this week he's going to be there, so he's going to be on his. I'm going to have to put him on a quote, like a limit on his golf cart usage.
Golf cart usage.
Yeah, man, that thing gets out on the 50 and then it's in the way. Like if he don't like the call, he'll drive it on the. We got.
You know what? But maybe we'll do. We're down there in that end zone doing the post or the halftime report. Maybe we'll bring Pop on, get a little feedback from him.
Well, no, I don't mind him being in the end zone. We just need to take the key.
Yeah.
and he don't get the key back till after the game.
There you go.
Something like that.
So, Coach, we got the score up here. Bessemer City defeats Pell City 31-14, but that score is not really indicative of how that game was played. A couple of late touchdowns that game. In fact, Bessemer City was losing going into the second half there, but that was a scrappy game. It's a scrappy Bessemer City team. What do you expect out of them this week?
Well, I can tell you this. There are 3 D linemen that they're going to throw out there, 6'2", 290, 6'4", 295, and 6'5", 330. So they're deep. One of them's committed to Auburn. One of them's his brother. They've got some really big kids. And Coach Nelson does a good job of keeping those kids in Bessemer. I mean, it reminds you, if anybody knows Birmingham football, it reminds you of the old Jess Lanier. Like those days when you used to play Jess Lanier, like they had big, strong kids that were mean, they were physical, they were fast. And he's done a good job of keeping the kids in Bessemer. Because a lot of times the kids from Bessemer were leaving and going other places. So he's kind of got them back, you know. And I have a lot of respect for him and what they do. And they're going to be violent. They're going to play fast. They're going to be big and strong. And we got our work cut out for us.
What can you expect out of them offensively?
Well, they've got a lot of good players. The quarterback, they have 2 kids they use. VJ Slaughter's a big, tall kid. And they got another kid that's kind of a slasher. He can throw and run. And VJ can sling it all over the yard. They've got some really athletic receivers. They have 2 really good running backs and big offensive line. So, you know, they do some things that cause challenges. They want to get athletes in space. And anytime you get athletes in space, it's dangerous. And they've got some really good players.
What are 3 points of emphasis that you guys got to focus on to get yourselves better this week?
Well, we got to clean up the penalties. I mean, we've got to clean that up where we can't, shoot ourselves in the foot. That's one thing. And I think defensively, we got to create takeaways. We didn't get one last week, and we usually are really good on it, but we didn't. And I think 3, just keep swinging. It's going to be a 4th quarter. It's going to be a heavyweight battle. They're going to be swinging, and we just got to make sure we're swinging just as hard on play 85 than we did play 1. And I think if we do that, we got a chance. But, we're going to have to make plays because they're very talented.
I think one thing, we've talked about this, 6A, 7A, they're both very competitive, but I think one of the things that you already see is a lot more parity. And we're 6A now. I know it's the new 7A, but 6A. See a lot more parity. I don't think you're going to see that margin of – I mean, I think you're probably looking at a game in the 4th quarter every year, every game this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dogfight, and we have a really tough schedule. I mean, Bessemer and James Clements, they got a running back who scored 4 or 5 times. We play them week 10, plus our region game. So, I think the way we train, we prepare our kids for 4 quarters to still have some juice left in the 4th quarter. So that's what we expect, and we're going to have to be swinging 4th quarter just like we did the 1st.
Sometimes you can get a little complacent when you walk away winning a game where you didn't play your best. So how do you combat that as a coach? How do you tell them, hey, we're lucky to have won that game. We got to do better.
Well, I don't know. I told them Friday night, it was like we lost. It felt like we lost. Like nobody was cheering. We weren't like we expected more from ourselves. We didn't do it. I'm trying to tell them, y'all enjoy it, man. Like smile. We won. Enjoy it. I don't think we really did. And wins are hard to come by. So I don't think the kids are smelling themselves. I don't think they're looking at. I don't think it meant anything more to them than just winning the game, moving on, because they weren't. I don't think there's any complacency. You can't watch that film and see what we did wrong and be complacent. So I think our kids are going to be hungry tomorrow to get better, and I know our coach is going to be pushing them, and we're going to try to just keep pushing this thing along and get better. But the kids know we made a lot of mistakes. We got to clean up.
Got a lot of new faces, a lot of new parents, a lot of new kids, obviously 9th, 10th. Talk a little bit about the schedule for the week. Friday night, Jag Walk 5:30, and then warm-ups, and then kickoff 7.
Yeah, 5:40 is Jag Walk, kickoff 7 o'clock. I think it's our production in our home games, I take a lot of pride in it, and because I want it to be enjoyable for everybody. I don't care if you play football, if you're a student, if you're a alumni, if your daughter is a cheerleader or like whatever. If you have no ties to Spain Park and you come to our game, I want you to have fun. And we were blessed with the lights last year. It's a production, and it's funny because the last month or 2 we've had to kind of make sure our production team is locked in with us, because there's a lot of schools out there trying to pull them to come do their home games because they kind of see what we do. And I don't know, I just want it to be fun. I want it to be a fun atmosphere for the kids, for our families, and you come to Spain Park football game, and you hopefully see a good product on the field, but you're a part of a really good environment. So I expect our kids to play hard and have a lot of fun doing it.
How much when you travel that far to Sparkman, you don't have the home field advantage. So, I mean, this is going to be a special week, too, to kind of get the students. It's the first time a lot of students are really going to get an opportunity to see their Jaguars on the field.
It is, and it's senior night. We're doing senior night first.
Okay.
So we have 21 seniors that have been with us a while. The senior class was, when they were ninth graders, was close to 45. When it's down to 21, so we've had some attrition over the years. Kids just stuck to baseball, which is fine. I mean, that's part of it because the baseball team is really, really good. So there's some kids that we lost out of ninth going 10th. So it's a smaller group of seniors, but these guys have been the reason we've won. And they know what the standard is, so it's going to be a night to honor them and their parents that have allowed us to coach them for 4 years. And that means a lot to us.
All right, Coach. So we will be back here next Sunday at Walk-Ons. We had a couple audio issues tonight, guys. Anytime you go someplace new, you got a few challenges. We'll also shoot for the bigger room. Want to thank everybody. What do you think? We got about 100 people out here tonight?
I think so.
I think 100 people, probably one of the largest crowds we've had here for the JAG Connection. Want to thank Walk-Ons. We want you at Spain Park on Friday night, but if you can't, come out to Walk-Ons and watch it if you're multitasking. But want to thank Walk-Ons for simulcasting the game. And, of course, get there early so you can watch Friday Night Insights, the Coach Tim Vakakes pregame show, sponsored by Alabama State Representative Susan DeBose. Coach is gracious enough to give us a few minutes before the game every Friday night and kind of gives us his three Toyota keys to victory, Hoover Toyota keys to victory. So, Coach, I want to wish you the best of luck this week in practice. Stay healthy and go Jags.
Thank you, man. Go Jags.